So we've got a beautiful afternoon, Friday afternoon. Did a little bit of work this morning at the Myponga Reservoir. Purposely I've come here in the backwaters because as a photographer I'm more interested in wildlife. Yeah, it'd be great if my paddling skills were better and all those sorts of things, but wow, what a view this morning. And then as I got here and going to do a little bit of paddling away, you can just see over on the left hand side a few bird life just in the shallows. And the amazing thing is that, having been on this earth for a few years, I know where they hide. And I had to go past a group of swans and they immediately just went right round in another circle. And then if we look just straight over here, the way the canoe's pointing, we've got some whopper bird life through there. Just lovely. I shoot with a 1D Mark IV with a 400mm do lens. Back in the days, these two put together would set you back probably around about $11,000 to $12,000, which is quite considerable. And I have a $20 wet bag. It's not what they're worth, it's just how much we bought it for. And we can just see those two birds over there. It's a duck. Now that's fine, but it's one massive blinking duck. So beautiful. So locating your birds and position, and then just lift that up, fold it back. It's as flat as a milk pond. It'd be really difficult to lose a camera in these sort of conditions. It's more to do with just being in position. You'd swear that the local rangers have been out here with their lawnmowers. Look at those snapper-toes. And here they're going. No real skill in shooting ducks. They're curious. Can't ever see the point in that myself, but I do know that there's lots of people who love doing that sort of thing. But what a beautiful day. Just lovely out here. Drink time. I can see my car from the car park over there. So now I'll go around in a circle again. I don't know, the batteries are supposed to be full. Before my last trip I ordered two 1800 or 1.8 amp hour, something like that, milliamp I suppose it is. And great prices on eBay. And for Christmas a couple of years ago, Sue got me a special charger, and so you could actually be charging up one battery while you're flattening the other, and I thought, great, this is fantastic. And blow me down, I get a notification that they've had some of the batteries melting down, and so that's created a bit of a problem. And so they said, oh, we can't effectively sell that to you, it's faulty. So I'm back to my old batteries, which is a bit sad. Got a kangaroo up here. so not that far away. I unpack and I go, boy, this is hard. And then I find out I followed this first signpost. I should have gone to the second. Anyhow, such is life. But this is beautiful here, just gorgeous. I could imagine getting here early in the morning and being able to get some really great shots, especially taking images up against the pines over here, which look fantastic. So as long as we look after the area, it'll stay open. I have no idea why we had these things shut where the rest of Australia have had dams open for years. Good old SA. I think at times it's a bit of a dinosaur. Alright. Yellow boy in the middle. Now Mike round the corner there's some reeds. There's a group of ducks right up ahead here, so hope if I haven't, blame my forehead. But there's another channel in over there. Just lovely. Yep, so not really interested in canoe races or paddling exercises or anything like that. It's good for the shoulders. Natural fact, 17 years ago did a major damage to my left hand shoulder. I'll never be able to play tennis again because of that. Dislocated my shoulder for a period of time and found out it was half dislocated, so there I am hanging doors and using a nail gun and using two hands to hold the nail gun, and discovering that I had a half dislocated shoulder. Oh, that was interesting. One of those war wounds when you work. There they go. I got too close. So Myponga, I've lived in this area, Aldinga, since the late 70s, round about 77, 78, and Sue, she's lived in that area all her life, so she can remember actually walking to church from the Esplanade to Aldinga across the paddocks and not a house to be seen. One house. Amazing. Okay. My canoe's an Old Town Discovery Solo Sportsman 119, so it's around about 119 inches long, which is a little bit over 11 feet long. Very wide, 700 wide, which is perfect for canoe photography, and as you can see, it's very stable. So if you're going to take pictures and use a camera in a canoe, you need to make sure that it's stable. My freeboard is around about 150 mil, which is virtually minimal, and recently was over at Point Turton canoeing out in the sea, and the waves were around about 300 or 400, and that was a bit of fun. Wouldn't have wanted to be anymore. The next day, perfect weather, and the waves were 600, so that meant the canoe stayed on top of the car, which was quite sad. But this area in here, that's just gorgeous. So canoe reminds me of back when I was a young kid and my grandfather taught me to row up at Morgan in a 16-foot wooden boat, and he would be have his hands over my hands and teaching me how to pull, and at the last minute give that little bit of extra tug which gave you that little bit of extra motion on the boat. Same with the canoe. Okay, paddle as far forward as you can and then just draw it back to yourself. So this canoe is very popular in America and is generally all about, you don't have to paddle real hard. In actual fact, it's really quite simple. So it's not something that's a heavy thing like some of the old fiberglass, even though this is some form of that. So if you're interested in canoeing, you could do a lot of worse things in life. Water is just crystal clear. It'd be great tossing the lure around here. I reckon there'd be quite a bit of fish life. I actually was wearing polarized before, but I didn't actually see any fish, but doesn't mean they're not there. Looks like a little ramp up here. I launched myself through the reeds through necessity today. Next time I come up here I'll go to the proper ramp, and obviously that will be easier. You can just see, yeah, it's very shallow now. Not much freeboard in the canoe, and we'll just spin around because this is almost running out of surface. There's like a mound here, and then you got a little bit of channel over here. Okay. One of the other areas I like to take the canoe is behind the township in Old Myponga. It's actually a fishing haunt that I spent many years going out and catching brim and stuff like that, and then it got polluted. Metro Meats owned a meat processing factory, and non-surprisingly effluent ended up going into the river. You would see mullet with weird and wonderful scales, like 20-cent pieces, and it stunk. It was not a good environmental aspect, and today that would have never been given approval, but back in the day lots of people, you know, worked at metros. And so the last couple of canoe trips up there, I've not seen one polluted fish, and you see them in the water. But when you see mullet that are up around 3, often up to 400 mil long, which is pretty big, and they're just clear and not diseased at all. There's lovely through here. Cut in the corner, and you can just see the, I'm going to hug the bank over on the right hand side and go along to the pines and just see what that is. My gauge as to whether I'm becoming a better paddler or not is how much water I end up inside the canoe. And when I first started, I had these things up a lot higher, and I had water pouring into it. Now, pretty much, you know, I get a bit here, but almost nothing in comparison. So there you have it, Myponga Reservoir.